Markle's cover story and shoot for Harper's Bazaar, drawing comparisons to some pretty iconic images of Princess Diana. Patricia.
Meghan Markle's dubious attempts at dazzling domestic goddess brilliance are no threat to her life.
What do we think here?
Feel empowered?
I think they could be empowering for some women.
Everything Meghan Markle touches seems to fall apart, and this time it's pure chaos. Her big comeback moment that Harper's Bazaar cover was supposed to be the crown jewel of her new image. Glamorous photos, a perfectly polished interview, the whole "I'm back and better than ever" energy. But oh no, something went very wrong behind those glossy pages. One tiny detail buried in that article sent Meghan into full meltdown mode at Montecito. Her PR team's running around like headless chickens trying to fix what never should have made it to print. What was meant to make her look powerful and in control ended up exposing the one thing she's terrified the world will see who she really is when nobody's watching. And once you hear what actually went down, you'll understand exactly why she's fuming.
Sit down for a second, because let me tell you what actually happened with Meghan Markle and that Harper's Bazaar cover. You've probably seen
the Harper's Bazaar journalist shows up to this beautiful Upper East Side brownstone where Meghan's staying just for the shoot, not her own Montecito home, of course, because that wouldn't look as sophisticated. But when the writer walks in, there's silence. Not a sound, not a staff member, not even background chatter. Just her standing there awkwardly waiting. And then suddenly the door opens. A staffer walks in, straight-faced, and loudly announces, "Meghan, Duchess of Sussex," as if Buckingham Palace itself was listening. Except there's no one else there. No audience, no photographers yet, just one very confused writer standing in the middle of this oversized, borrowed living room. It's pure theater. Meghan literally has herself announced into an empty room. Who does that? It's not royal protocol, it's not tradition, it's performance, her favorite kind. And that ridiculous moment? It actually made it into the published article. And when Meghan saw that in print, let's just say the neighbors probably heard her screaming.
He talks about how much he loves her. Nothing about her love.
We're not talking mildly annoyed. We're talking full-blown, fire everyone and flip the table kind of meltdown. Meghan reportedly lost it when she saw that paragraph. She thought the story had been cleared, with her team certain details agreed on, others banned. But somehow that one detail, the Duchess of Sussex announced to nobody moment, slipped through. And honestly, who could resist publishing that? It said everything without saying a word. Because that's Meghan in a nutshell. Even in private, even when nobody's watching, she needs the show. She needs to hear that title out loud, as if the sound itself keeps her world from collapsing. She can't just walk into a room like a normal person and say hi. She needs the grand entrance, the recognition, the applause that isn't there.
Feature, they actually screw you over in such dramatic fashion that you may end up being...
Imagine being that journalist, standing there trying to look professional while internally thinking, is this really happening? You're watching a woman stage her own red carpet entrance for an audience of one. And of course, that moment ended up in the article. It was too telling to leave out. Meghan wanted the piece to show her as elegant, strong, independent. But instead, it painted the picture of someone who still needs constant validation. The kind of person who can't exist without being seen, without being celebrated. Her team called Harper's Bazaar immediately after the issue dropped, demanding to know how this could happen. But let's be real, the damage was done. That tiny paragraph said more about Meghan than the entire 1,000-word interview.
So here's my take on the Harper's Bazaar cover of Meghan Sussex, the Duchess of...
And as if that wasn't enough humiliation, another storm was brewing, this time involving her former best friend and makeup artist, Daniel Martin. You remember him, right? The one who did her makeup for the royal wedding, stood by her side for years, practically family. He was her loyal friend, her day one. But loyalty only works one way with Meghan, as long as you're useful and never make her look bad. When she attended that Paris fashion show, her makeup became the talk of the internet, and not in a good way. People compared her to Casper the Ghost. Memes exploded everywhere. It was trending, brutal. And the man behind that pale, washed-out look? Daniel Martin. Poor guy thought he could handle it like a professional. He even made a post explaining his makeup choices, maybe hoping to be transparent or creative. Big mistake. Huge. Meghan saw that post and exploded. She allegedly called him immediately, ordering, "Take it down now." And he did, but in her mind, it was already over. One mistake, one bit of public embarrassment, and you're done. That's how she works. So, when Harper's Bazaar called her team to discuss the upcoming shoot, this could have been Daniel's redemption, a chance to make things right. But Meghan didn't even hesitate. "Not Daniel," she said. "Get Diane." That wasn't about makeup quality, it was revenge, plain and simple. Her message to him and everyone else: cross me once and you're erased. She used to parade Daniel as proof that she was loyal, grounded, real. But once he embarrassed her, even unintentionally, he was out. That's how Meghan's world works: complete obedience or total exile. And word is, Daniel's still blacklisted unless he grovels, apologizes, and signs his soul away. And if you think that's the end of the drama, wait till you hear this. The Harper's Bazaar shoot itself wasn't even original. The entire concept was copied straight from Marilyn Monroe's legendary 1962 Vogue session with photographer Bert Stern. Meghan wanted to recreate that same energy, the misunderstood, glamorous woman rebelling against the system. She genuinely sees herself as the modern-day Marilyn Monroe. But the difference? Marilyn had magic. She glowed from the inside out. You could feel her humanity through the lens. Meghan's photos, on the other hand, cold, posed, soulless. All performance, no soul. The camera doesn't lie, it caught the calculation, not the charisma. And the cruel irony? Even Harper's Bazaar wasn't happy with the results. But after spending a fortune, the stylist, the jewelry, the rented mansion, they had to go through with it. So they ran with what they had, hoping controversy would sell copies. And it did, but for all the wrong reasons. Instead of praise, Meghan got roasted. The Marilyn comparison backfired horribly. Because here's the kicker, this wasn't random timing. Meghan's Harper's Bazaar cover was scheduled to drop the same evening Catherine, the Princess of Wales, made her breathtaking Royal Albert Hall appearance in that green velvet gown. Coincidence? Not a chance. Meghan's team reportedly coordinated everything. Even Netflix released her holiday special trailer that exact night. 2 major PR pushes to drown out Catherine's moment. It was a direct hit, a double attack. Meghan's goal was clear: steal the spotlight, dominate the headlines, reclaim relevance. But karma had other plans. Instead of upstaging Catherine, Meghan exposed just how desperate she's become. Social media mocked the timing, calling her jealous, obsessed, unable to let Catherine have a single night without competition. The contrast couldn't have been clearer. Catherine, glowing, regal, loved by the crowd. Meghan, posing alone, chasing a spotlight that's slipping further away. Even the royal family noticed. And behind closed doors, they were done pretending not to see her antics. And yet, the hypocrisy doesn't stop there. Meghan claims she left royal life behind because she hated the institution too cold, too formal, too restrictive. She convinced Harry to leave everything, saying titles don't matter, that she just wants to be Meghan. But funny how she never drops that Duchess title, right? Behind the scenes, everyone still has to address her as the Duchess of Sussex. Remember that cringe-worthy Harper's moment where staff announced her title to an empty room? That's not a one-time thing. Sources say she does that everywhere. It's her daily dose of validation. The woman who supposedly despises the royal system still clings to its trappings like her life depends on it. Harper's even suggested putting Meghan Sussex on the cover. She refused. "It must say Duchess of Sussex," she insisted. "So much for just call me Meghan. Without that royal title, she's just another Hollywood hopeful with a failing brand." And deep down, she knows it. Speaking of her brand, let's talk American Riviera Orchard, the grand lifestyle empire she was certain would make her the next Gwyneth Paltrow or Martha Stewart. Fancy jars of honey, seasonal jams, sage-infused nonsense. When she launched the holiday collection, it was supposed to be a sellout. The Netflix show tied perfectly into it. The synergy, the cross-promotion, everything timed to perfection. Except, nobody bought it. Days after launch, her exclusive products were still sitting on the website. Not sold out, not even close. Just gathering dust. Remember when her strawberry jam sold out instantly? That was pure PR magic. They made a tiny batch to fake scarcity. But you can only fool people once. Now, the audience sees right through her. They're not spending money on overpriced pantry items just because Meghan touched them. Even Netflix is reportedly unimpressed. They backed her, gave her global exposure, and what did they get? Flop after flop. Content nobody watches, products nobody buys. She wanted to copy Gwyneth's goop, but Gwyneth earned her brand. She built trust, curated taste, stayed consistent. Meghan wants the glory without the groundwork. And then there's a subject that makes her the most uncomfortable of all the kids, Archie and Lilibet. Every photo, every appearance is tightly controlled. Meghan says it's about privacy. But insiders whisper another reason. She can't stand that neither child looks like her. Both carry the Spencer genes: Harry's hair, Harry's eyes. Former staff have said visitors always comment, "Oh, he has Harry's nose," or "She's got Harry's smile." Nobody ever says they look like Meghan. And for a woman who thrives on control, that's the one thing she can't rewrite: genetics. She claims to be protecting them, but maybe she's protecting her image instead, avoiding the endless comparisons that remind her she's not the center of everything. Even when she briefly showed the kids' faces in that mommy dance clip, the comments were all about how much they looked like Harry. You could almost feel her irritation through the screen. And now, every part of her empire, every plan, every partnership is falling apart in front of her. The Harper's Bazaar cover that was meant to resurrect her image instead revealed everything she didn't want us to see. The makeup artist she banished, the PR plan that backfired, the brand that won't sell, the title she won't let go of, the family she alienated, the husband she's dragged into her chaos. Everything is unraveling. Netflix is reconsidering their deals. Spotify's long gone. Even her talent agency, WME, is allegedly questioning if she's worth the trouble because it's constant crisis management, endless drama with no success to balance it out. Meghan wanted the royal treatment without the royal responsibility, the Hollywood fame without the Hollywood work. And now she's discovering that without the crown, without the palace, and without that title, she's just Meghan. She thought she could outshine the monarchy. But all she's done is expose herself a performer desperate for applause, furious when the audience stops clapping. The empire she dreamed of never existed. And now, she's watching the whole illusion crumble in real time. From her Montecito mansion, clutching that Duchess title tighter than ever, the only piece left of a story that's slipping through her fingers. Because no matter how many photo shoots she stages or how many PR teams she fires, the truth is out there and the world isn't buying it anymore.